honorable members of the House, fellow South Africans, who are here again to bear witness to the desperate attempts of the DA and its allies to undermine the will of the people and attempt to distort what the Constitution dictates. Just 3 months ago, on the 3rd of August, the people of South Africa expressed their will without fear or favor. This they did through a free and fair democratic process wherein all parties were afforded an opportunity to contest an election. The ANC is amongst the men in South Africa that accepted the will of the people, and to date, the DA and its allies are presiding over some of our municipalities that were previously led by the ANC. As true democrats and pioneers of constitutional democracy in South Africa, we have listened and we have heard our people, and we are self-correcting and repositioning the ANC as a development-driven opposition in such municipalities. It will never be our intention to undermine the letter and spirit of our Constitution and the will of the people as expressed through the ballot, despite there being no outright majority winner. We have moved on. You listen, you'll be a better person. In 2014, more than 11 million South Africans voted for the African National Congress. Re kentse sefatlhego sa President Jacob Zuma mo balloting. Re itsisi batho ba South Africa gore ke ANC fela e nang le maikarabelo a go tlhabolla maphelo a bona. Se se bileng sa diragala ke gore dimilione tsa batho ba rona mo nageng ya bo rona ba re file monyetla gape wa gore re tswellise pele tlhabologo twantsho ya lehuma le tlhokafalo ya mesebetsi mo nageng e ya bo rona go tloga ka 2014. Njengoba sihlezi la namhlanje kulendlu ephakamileyo siyabona futhi amaqhinga abonomgogwana bacabanga ukuthi bazoqhubeka bangawuhloniphi umgaqo seko wala eNingizimu Afrika, umgaqo seko opha igunya lokuthi omunye nomunye umuntu unolungelo lokuthi alalelwe enkantolo, icala lakhe lilalelwe phambi kokuthi agwetshwe wonke umuntu umsulwa. Sihlezi la namuhla kuyo lendlu lephakamileyo sinaye uHonorable Glenys Breitenbach ngala oyilunga leParliament owumangalelwa wokukhwabanisa owumangalelwa of being involved in criminal offences as she was a prosecutor in the National Prosecutorial Authority.
Deputy
as
Speaker,
the NC,
Honourable Member,
as the NC,
Honourable Minister, please take your seat.
Deputy Speaker, may I address you in terms of Rule 85.2, if I may? If the Honourable Mokonyane wishes to level accusations against the Honourable Breitenbach, then she must do what we've done today and bring a substantive motion to the House for debate. Otherwise, she is in contravention of those provisions of the rules. And I'll ask that she withdraws that.
Honourable, go ahead, we'll call on you now.
As the NC, we have never cast aspersions or doubts on the integrity of the NPA, even when the serious allegations that have led to the fraud charges that the Honourable Breitenbach faces today. This is because the conduct of the individual cannot bring us to undermine the integrity of the Constitution, of the institution. The motion we are here debating today is really a phantom to masquerade the essence and nature of opposition politics in our country and their quest to gain power by other means other than the ballot box, using a blackface to protect the interests of the white minority. Continuously, the DA and its allies
Deputy Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Member.
Deputy Speaker, we've had several rulings in the House about racial stereotyping and race baiting. I would ask that the Minister withdraws her reference to Mr. Maimane as blackface.
Honourable Speaker.
Yes.
On a point of order.
Yes.
we will all agree to matters of debate in this House. Any matters of debate that have not been ruled to be racist or unparliamentary. This matter that Honorable Mokonyane is raising has no reference to any racism. It's a matter of debate.
Yes.
Deputy Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Member.
It was very clear that the Minister was implying, and if you check the Hansard, you will see for yourself, that Mr. Maimane is being used by people of another race to get the message here. That both cast aspersions on Mr. Maimane as an honourable member of this House and is using race to profile somebody. So if the ANC are wanting to say that it's open season now on racial profiling in the House, I think it's a very sad day for this House and for democracy.
Yeah. Honourable members, I want to implore on you, including in the debate, that we be careful of the language we use, and I will, as suggested, look at Hansard and in fact rule on that matter. Let's proceed, honourable members. Honourable Minister, please proceed.
Continuously, the DA and its allies.
Order, Chairperson. Chairperson, order. Chairperson.
Honourable member, yes.
We are tired of giving by DA these letters to our member of the ANC. Please, you must stop doing this in the House. If I can give it to you, because this will create a problem to us. They give all us the members, and the members also assist them to give us these letters.
Yes, give it to the table, honourable member, and yeah, we don't know what it is about. And explain to the...
Honourable Deputy Speaker,
Honourable
we want to confirm what the honourable member is raising, that the DA is sending letters to all members of the ANC to vote in a particular way in this debate. I have one, too.
Honourable members,
Deputy Speaker.
yes, honourable member.
Deputy Speaker, when we rise in the House, we rise on terms of the rules of the National Assembly. And I'd like the Honourable Chief Whip of the Majority Party to point to the rule where it says it is unparliamentary to send letters. I received a particular nasty letter from Minister Davies 2 days ago, and you don't see me being a crybaby and raising it in the House.
Honourable Minister, please proceed. Honourable members, okay, order, let the Minister proceed and speak. Proceed, Honourable Minister.
Continuously, the DA and its allies present before this House motions and issues that seek to undermine our commitment to realize radical economic transformation and the creation of a social order that would benefit the majority of our people. They are trying hard to distract the ANC and the government led by President Zuma from dealing with the challenges of poverty, unemployment, and inequality. This motion against President Zuma, in whichever way it may be put, seeks to have us ignore the fact that the majority remains without access to land and remain spectators in an economy largely controlled by a minority elite that is opposed to transformation, masquerading, and led by a black face. Those elitist forces emerge as led by the DA to advance a protracted onslaught against the president and government on speculations and unfounded sentiments. This is manifested in the DA's ideological drive that aims to keep intact the apartheid economic patterns. This is a glaring misrepresentation of facts and a total disregard of reality. Since coming into office, President Zuma, together with the leaders of the African National Congress present here, appointed the former public protector following due processes as per the Constitution. Secondly, during his tenure, President Zuma appointed commissions whose recommendations he has taken into consideration: the Siriti Commission, the Falam Commission, the HIA Commission, are the prominent amongst others. Under his leadership, President Zuma signed 69 proclamations authorizing the Special Investigative Unit to undertake investigations intended to rid the state of corruption where it exists and to verify allegations of such where they arise. Just in the last financial year alone, the value of the 307 matters that have been referred to the NPA for prosecution and the assets for Fisher Unit for future orders is 6.8 billion. It is this ANC government that uses the correct systems to deal with corruption, to deal with maladministration where it arises. Honorable members, the state in its very nature engages, lobbies, and is lobbied by civil society, business and non-governmental organizations in the course of daily functions. Remember the visit and the receival of a check by Madam Zille just a few months ago. However, it is precisely because the ANC under the leadership of President Zuma has taken the battle of economic emancipation of our people to higher levels, both locally, globally, that we are under such attack. Our radical economic transformation agenda has struck a nerve with the majority of those who have come to benefit from creations of the apartheid economic system and global economic domination, of those who have continued to exploit our resources. Any reference to state capture must have reference to the historical promotion of monopoly capital, enrichment of individuals, and a few established companies who to date unashamedly continue to be the dominant beneficiaries of state investments. For an example, in ESCOM spends 40 billion on coal annually, largely on 4 companies that have owned these companies for between 20 to 40 years. Just listen. These contracts will come to an end only in 2020. And only, as I've indicated, 4 companies remain beneficiaries of this. And many of the owners of these contracts do not live in South Africa. Those who have been benefiting continue to do so and are defending their ill-gotten gains at all costs and using their ownership of the means of production and some sections of the media to sow confusion. The DA is an unsatisfied complainant through its ill-conceived motions that seek not to only undermine the binding effect of the remedial action proposed by the public protector. In our quest to realize the objectives of socio-economic transformation under President Zuma, we have entered into binational and multinational agreements in an endeavor to grow the economy, create jobs, and close gaps of inequality. The initiative Invest South Africa, led by government, the private sector, and organized labor, continues to promote our economic fortunes aimed at steering the country out of the troubled global economic waters. It should also be mentioned that our fiscal imperatives are in full swing. The South African Revenue Services has, over the past 2 financial years, collected above the target despite the prevailing difficult economic climate. Actual collections in 2014-2015 were 986.3 billion rands. This surpassed the target by 7 billion rands. And in 2015-2016, the actual collection brought in historic revenue of 1.7 trillion, thus helping reduce the national deficit under extreme economic challenges. The 2016-2017 printed estimates, as announced by Minister of Finance Pravin Gordhan during his midterm budget, is 1.152 trillion, and all projections are that SARS will collect and meet this target despite the real GDP growth set out at 0.5, and for SARS to achieve this milestone, it must perform above 7% GDP growth. When we voted for President Zuma in this House, the ANC came with a mandate that the president of the ANC shall be the president of the country, as it was also reflected on the ballot paper, and it has never been a secret. Secondly, that the country would require a long-term plan and vision of where we want to take South Africa. Under President Zuma and together with the people of South Africa, we now have a national development plan. In his tenure, the ANC had to make drastic interventions in the areas of HIV and AIDS, particularly the availability and access to treatment. We are rolling out comprehensive social security programs that have reduced the mortality rate in our country and mitigated the vulnerability of the poor, marginalized, and indigent. Over R1 trillion has been invested by government on social and economic infrastructure to promote economic opportunities and facilitate economic growth and social progression now during the 5th term of our administration. What is unfortunate, though, is that the DA and its allies know very well that this motion is ill-conceived and bound to fail and have only raised it to denigrate and undermine the person and dignity of President Zuma. Contrary to the opinion of those who are opposed to the ANC, who are convinced, as Thomas Carlyle, British historian and essayist, said that, and I quote, "Nothing builds self-esteem and self-confidence like accomplishment," close quote. Despite all the pantomimes and sideshows by the DA, President Zuma is focused on accomplishment that can only help grow the economy. To President Zuma, as the African National Congress was saying, the world will never appreciate the good you do 1,000,000 times, but will criticize the one wrong you do. Don't get discouraged. Always rise above all the laughter and criticism. We are not, as the ANC, we are not an organization that claims to be pure, but it is through our continuous efforts to remain true to the values and principles of the ANC that we remain much more focused, loyal to the Constitution, and being the pioneers of the Constitution, no one can dare challenge our commitment to that. As President Nelson Mandela said, and I quote, "I am not a saint unless you think of a saint as a sinner who keeps on trying." We will keep on trying because ours has never been a struggle for a period of 22 years. It is a protracted struggle that requires capable men and women to remember that the struggle continues. Deputy Speaker, the African National Congress is ready to vote. Others fear our unity and steadfast commitment to the people of South Africa. We are never shaken. We will vote. We will oppose this motion. We will bring change in this country, not through partnership with opponents of transformation in our country, but together with our people who have listened to them, who have heard them, who are on a path for self-correction and renewal of the African National Congress, and we shall remain with them. Thanking Yabong.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Shivambo.
Re itsisi batho ba South Africa gore ke ANC fela enang le maikarabelo a go tlhabolla maphelo a bona. Se se bileng sa diragala ke gore dimilione tsa batho ba rona mo nageng ya bo rona ba re file monyetla gape wa gore re tswellise pele tlhabologo, twantsho ya lehuma le tlhokafalo ya mesebetsi mo nageng e ya bo rona go tloga ka 2014. Njengoba sihlezi la namhlanje kulendlu ephakamileyo siyabona futhi amaqhinga abonomgogwana abacabanga ukuthi bazoqhubeka bangawuhloniphi umgaqo seko wala eNingizimu Afrika, umgaqo seko opha igunya lokuthi. Honorable members of the House, fellow South Africans, we are here again to bear witness to the desperate attempts of the DA and its allies to undermine the will of the people and attempt to distort what the Constitution dictates. Just 3 months ago, on the 3rd of August, the people of South Africa expressed their will without fear or favor. This they did through a free and fair democratic process wherein all parties were afforded an opportunity to contest an election. The ANC is amongst the men in South Africa that accepted the will of the people, and to date, the DA and its allies are presiding over some of our municipalities that were previously led by the ANC. As true democracy, omunye nomunye umuntu unolungelo lokuthi alalelwe enkantolo, icala lakhe lilalelwe, phambi kokuthi agwetshwe wonke umuntu umsulwa. Sihlezi la namuhla kuyo lendlu lephakamileyo. Sinaye uHonorable Glenis Breitenbach ngala, oyilunga leParliamente, owumangalelwa wokukhwabanisa, owumangalelwa of being involved in criminal offences as she was a prosecutor in the National Prosecutorial Authority.
Deputy
As
Speaker.
the NC,
Honourable Member.
as the NC,
Honourable Minister, please take your seat.
Democrats and pioneers of constitutional democracy in South Africa, we have listened and we have heard our people, and we are self-correcting and repositioning the ANC as a development-driven opposition in such municipalities. It will never be our intention to undermine the letter and spirit of our constitution and the will of the people as expressed through the ballot, despite there being no outright majority winner. We have moved on. You listen, you'll be a better person. In 2014, more than 11 million South Africans voted for the African National Congress. Re kentse sefatlhego sa President Jacob Zuma mo balloting.
Deputy Speaker, may I address you in terms of Rule 85.2, if I may? If the Honourable Mokonyane wishes to level accusations against the Honourable Breitenbach, then she must do what we've done today and bring a substantive motion to the House for debate. Otherwise, she is in contravention of those provisions of the rules. And I'll ask that she withdraws that.
Honourable, go ahead, we'll call on you now. Go
As the
ahead.
NC, we have never cast aspersions or doubts on the integrity of the NPA, even when the serious allegations that have led to the fraud charges that the Honourable Breitenbach faces today.